Hi everybody.
Hi everybody.
We brought you to the park today to do a question and answer video because a number of people have asked us questions online. So we thought we'd do a video and answer them all.
So on with a quick Q&A.
So on with the question and answer, Shelley Shell asked me about the flags, and I thought I'd do a piece about it because other people might be interested in the flags too. This one is a New Zealand flag. I grew up in Mount Maunganui in Omanu, which is a suburb of Mount Maunganui, and we plan to go back this year. And one time somebody was passing me and said she couldn't see the flag. It was a foggy day. So I added the Canadian flag because it has a lot of white on it to make it stand out so people can see it more easily. So Paula Havens asked me about my air horn and where we got it. We got it from Canadian Tire. It's only about $5.
I think it might have been 10.
It was sloppy to fit in there. This is a cup holder. Air horn sit in it very well. It kind of wobbled around, as you can see. So Dave got these beer can holders.
Beer coolers. So as you said, this is just air horn and good Canadian brand. I actually got this as a cheap plastic, which I got Canadian Tire. And it's held on by just a couple zap straps, or zip ties. Sorry, that's a Kiwi term, zap straps, but zip ties. So they're just held on. Just put that back in. It's a little bit of a tight fit,
but then it sits really snugly when I'm biking. And one day when I was going shopping, some guy who wasn't watching nearly ran me over. So we got the air horn, and the next time somebody tried to run me over, I gave him this, and all the cars backed away from me, so I'm not worried about it anymore. So Paula Havens said that she liked the pedals and she wanted to know where we got them. We got them, I like them too, because they've got really good studs that hold on to the shoes, so my shoes don't slide ever on or off them. And he also put spaces in here that he got from Amazon to make them sit out a little further, because if you look at our introduction, I said I have arthritis and it interferes with absolutely everything. And it was very awkward for me to ride without the spaces. And with the pedals out like that, I can ride really easily.
Now, I mean, when we first got your first trike, I got the special pedals, the straps, and you found them. How difficult did you find putting them on?
Well, it was very difficult because I can't turn my ankles properly to get them on or get them off. And when my leg is on the pedals, I can't reach it. So I can't take them on and off myself. And it was very, very difficult for both of us.
So these were the best. These pedals I got from a local mountain bike store. I'll wait till the crows stop. We have crows! Noisy crows! Crows of noise! Now that the crows have gone. I got these pedals from a mountain bike store, which I'll show you. They've got a very aggressive studs that you can take it on and off. These are pro mountain bike pedals. They got good bearings and everything in them, so they really are good. They cost about $100 or $125. What you expect to pay for a good set of pedals. That's why we added. And then, as I said, we've got a spacer that moves out the pedals about 75 mils, which makes it much easier for Laurie to get her feet on and off. And again, there we tried the heel straps. We tried everything else. The heel straps. We tried the pedals with the straps over, but she just found that just too difficult to put on and off. So these work the best. I was also thinking of getting egg beaters, but she can't twist her ankle to get them off because they'd be easier. So These are the ones that we decided this was the best for her and suited her. And she can get it on and off without me have to coming along and unstrapping it for her, and that just wouldn't work.
Well, because I go shopping by myself, I've got to be able to get on and off the bike without having Dave there to babysit me all the time. Somebody asked about the stand-up aids, how I get on and off the bike. They're here, and they're attached to the steering columns.
As I said, on the steering columns, these I got from Utah Trikes, and they're attached to the steering column, and they bolt in from the other side. When I first put them on, I bolted on this side, but they came in too close, because the cockpit on Laurie's trike, I think, is too narrow for her. So by putting them aside so they fit better, and they're held in place by 4 bolts. Should write to Cat Trike about it. I think they should do a range on their Villager extra wide version, a heavy duty version with a wider cockpit. I think that'd be really good, because I find with the direct steering it cuts more into the cockpit than the indirect steering, which is on my bike. And I'll show you where the connector on the other side. I had to bolt them on this side with these M6 bolts here, so that these stand-up aid came out on the outside of the steering arms on the Cat Trike.
Okay, I also have a set of stand-up aids, and the reason I use the stand-up aids are to mount accessories, especially my phone, as it talks to my CGM, and when I'm riding I need to see what my blood sugar is at all times. Now, I had to get my stand-up aids from HP Velotech directly, and basically they connect to the head tube, so they just slide onto the head tube, and they have a tightening clamp, which you can see here.
Hi everybody. Okay, so now we're going on to my bike, and the query I got was about the bags. I made these panniers. As you've seen from the other videos I've showed you with the rain top, I've got this bar here in winter for the rain rides, because in Vancouver it rains almost every other day. The bins I got from Canadian Tire. They're $20 each, and I'll take the lid off, and they're water, and they got a rubber seal around it. It keeps the water from getting in. And I'll take them off. And the hardware it came from, I had a pair of old Arkel panniers. They developed hose and all that. They'd seen their life. Because Arkel uses aluminum for its attachment point. A little bit, springs are starting to go on them, but that's, fair enough. They're old. I basically found that worked really well. I used that was the hardware to mount them. They got incredible mounting. But I found that because of the lip and everything, it was too tight. So what I had to do was put a spacer, and I just used a 1x2. $2 for an 8-foot piece of 1x2. So that's relatively inexpensive. And just put lock wash. These got lock washers and all that. And on the inside, to help also to stiffen up, I happen to have an extra piece of aluminum strap. It was about 5 mil thick. So the bolts go through that keeps it really stiff. So that works really, really well. I've got to rebuild these because, after a winter or so, they're getting pretty tired. And what I've noticed with that is I just spray paint. When I redo them the next time, I'm going to sand these all. So instead of a shiny, I'll have a rough texture that will give a grip, and then I'll redo the paint. But basically, I'll just strip off all the hardware I've got. I found I was putting the bags inside, these bags inside, and I happen to have this old netting, so I just reuse that. It's a little bit more tricky with the pole to put this back in, but you connect it on there, and as the hardware on this is pretty old, it's over 10 years old, and then I find sometimes when I clip it in, I just have to give a little push to make sure they lock, because the spring doesn't quite lock. So that goes in real easy. As I said, in summer, without this lid, without this rod, it works perfectly, but it's just a little bit more tricky, but it catches, so can't complain. So that's with the bins. This spring strip off all the hardware and buy a brand new set of bins and remake these. Yeah, you can do it in a weekend. Or probably less. Yeah, about a weekend to let the paint dry. And it takes about 3 or 4 coats to get a nice paint. But as it says, sanding it will probably make it key in a lot better. Okay, that's the bins. Oh yeah, the other thing about these bins is that they're 23 liters each. So that holds about 46 liters. And also another thing too, I added these hooks here. So that if I have anything really big and bulky, like toilet paper and all that, I can place it on there. And then I got this netting off Amazon. It's designed for motorcycles. And I've got 2 of them, because it came in a pack of 2. Just clip it on like that. And then then the toilet paper just goes over top of it. And the clip's on the other side. So they're nice and big and they work really well. This gives a big flat platform for me to stack all sorts of big bulky things on. Rephrase that. Because Dave is an idiot. Yeah. I put the toilet paper or anything big and bulky, then put the netting over it. And I got 2, so if it's really big, I mean, I've stacked things this high where that net wouldn't work, but between the 2, I can stack stuff even taller than me. And what I did to keep these from getting tangled with the other one, I just put it in a Ziploc bag here. And I just put air hole so that it crushes down. And then there's a little section behind my seat that I can put these in.
I'll put a link down below to all our trike videos.
So that was our Q&A video. I hope you enjoyed it and it answered some questions for you. Bye.